Hey guys, Marsengan here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video, and so we're expecting some updates and some content tomorrow. I don't think we were necessarily expecting this announcement right now here today, but yes, shout out to all my fellow brethren or brothers and sisters, everyone else. Those of us who kept the faith, we are indeed getting the EZAs for INT LR Vegeta and Trunks and INT Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I said, like when part 1 was kind of wrapping up and we hadn't had this EZA yet, that I felt like we would get it later in the celebration, because I feel like there's no way that they would go through the whole of this celebration and these guys not EZA, especially after they EZA'd Zamasu. It just doesn't really make any sense to do that, but obviously with all the memes of how Dokkan often does things that don't make a lot of sense, I know a lot of people were worried, but we are getting this EZA. And then of course this guy for the part 2 stuff, he's one of the oldest Dokkan Fest. It's only the physical Angel Frieza that transforms into Golden Frieza is now the oldest Dokkan Fest, and then it was this guy that didn't have an EZA. And with this being a GT themed celebration, it only makes sense for him to be getting the EZA. So we're going to go through their details. I haven't looked at them. They've literally just been posted, so you're going to get my genuine first thoughts and reactions here. Really hoping that these guys will be good. These guys came out as the Tanabata Part 1 LR and were the best unit in the game on release. So let's take a look at what they do. So obviously their lead is Bond of Parent and Child. Funnily enough, still the only unit in the game that leads Bond of Parent and Child, like with a proper full leader skill. Future Saga, and then the extra 30% and 1 key for Battle of Fate. So they have their entrance animation when there is another Bond of Parent and Child ally on the team, which I believe is still the same. Just has to be one character. Actually no, on they're a pre-EZA, they have to be on the same turn. So now this way, I guess it means you can run them even with just one Bond of Parent and Child ally on the team, and it doesn't matter if they're on the same turn at the very start. So they get key 7 and 100% defense for 5 turns. This is an extra like 5 key and extra 30% defense from pre-EZA, so that's good. They also have damage reduction 10% and randomly change key spheres of a certain type, INT excluded, to rainbow for 3 turns. So they have rainbow orb changing and 10% damage reduction for 3 turns. Their basic effects are key +2, attack and defense 200%. They just have guaranteed guard now, so they had to be like the first attacker in the turn, and then their intro gave them guard for 5 turns before. Now they just have guard. They have 20% damage reduction, so that means obviously first 3 turns it's actually 30%. Launch an additional attack that has a great chance to become a super. Pre-EZA it was like medium chance, so it's gone from 30% to 70%. When attacking with 18 or more key, launches an additional super attack, so I mean that's good, just guaranteed. When activating the active skill or when attacking with 24 key, Bond of Parent and Child category allies get 30% defense. So obviously they are a slot 1 unit, or meant to be, so they're attacking with 24 key, giving all the Bond of Parent and Child allies 30% extra defense is obviously very, very good. And then for every attack received or evaded, which is a nice update because it was just received before, key +2 up to 10. Attack 20% up to 100, defense 50% up to 150, chance to crit 10% up to 50. So they can build up to 50% crit chance. And then as the first attacker in the turn, they get an extra 200% attack and defense and damage reduction 30%. So that means in slot 1, they have 60% damage reduction for the first 3 turns, and then it's 50%. And obviously by then, they'll have hopefully received or evaded 3 attacks, so you'll have built up that full extra 150% defense from their passive. So they should have pretty good start of turn defense, whilst having, even later into the fight, guard and 50% damage reduction. So these guys seem really, really good. And then obviously now this opens up the opportunity to have the STR Goku Vegeta from part 1 in the Vegeta form in part 2, which will then in slot 2, which will then be buffing this unit because it gives a buff to units whose name includes Trunks. So this obviously seems very, very good here. Then we got our super attacks. So the 12 key is greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, does colossal damage to the enemy, which is obviously good. And then the 18 key super is stacks attack and defense, mega colossal damage to the enemy, raise allies attack and defense by 5% in battle. Wait. By 5%. Okay. So this is like a slightly new wording that we've seen on some of these other abilities, but what this means, or what this should mean, the translation of this 18 key super, is every single time these guys 18 key super, allies get an extra 5% attack and defense permanently. Now, obviously, the 18 key super is not the one they do with additionals. Even if a fight lasts like 8 turns, for example, these guys are only going to be on rotation like 3 or 4 times. So it's not like insane amounts of stacks on stacks, but like even that is actually crazy. A permanent buff. Because yeah, Glorio has this, but it's a permanent, like it's for himself only. This is raises allies attack and defense by 5%. Now I wonder if it only means all the ones on the rotation, or does it mean everyone like on the team? But yeah, permanent buff of 5% attack and defense every time he 18 key supers. Like that's really, really good. Obviously, active skills don't change with EZAs, so just as a reminder, their active skill, the Father Son Gallic Gun, activated when all allies in the same turn are Future Saga starting from turn 3, or when HP is 50% or less from turn 5. So obviously with the team build that we can make now for like this team or Goku and Vegeta, you are going to be able to have rotations where everyone is Future Saga, but obviously we're using a lot of the non-Future Saga, like the fusions and stuff like that. So their active skill is not something you necessarily will always see, because without the full Future Saga rotation, it's turn 5 and you have to be 50% or less HP. But it massively raises attack temporarily, ultimate damage, and then within the turn that you activate it, all attacks become crits and raise all allies' defense by 20%. So that on top of everything that they're already doing. Because remember, when they super with 24 key, they're already buffing the allies' defense. Then their 18 key super effect itself buffs everybody's stats. And then obviously the active skill gives a crazy buff as well. So yeah, they seem very, very good. This is exactly what we would want. They need to be a strong slot 1. They're providing all the support. Like that seems pretty crazy, and this is exactly what we wanted for that team. So really, really happy with this EZA. Let me know what you guys think down below. And so let's take a look at INT Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Now this guy was interesting. We talked about him in videos leading up to the campaign, because his passive was very much like a blank slate. It's pretty much just all stats. So I'm interested to see what they have done with his EZA. So let's see. So obviously he's Giant 8 Power or Shadow Dragon Saga full 170. He's got key for attack and defense 300%. Attacks effective against all types. Damage reduction 40%. Then for 1 turn from his entry turn, he has another 40% damage reduction. So turn 1 he has 80% damage reduction, which is crazy. For every attack received or evaded, chance to crit 25% up to 100%. Okay, so he builds up to 100% crit after getting attacked 4 times. So he needs no crit in the hidden potential. As the second or third attacker in the turn, he gets another 250% attack and defense and launches an additional super. I guess this is obviously because they've kind of put this into his kit because of the AGL Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, who you will very often be running in slot 1. So you can put this guy on the team, run him in slot 3, and you don't have to worry about them clashing with like the same name not being able to link. An extra 250% attack and defense on top of the fact that he has 300 start of turn is pretty good. And then he's getting a guaranteed additional super. When he receives a super, he has a great chance to nullify and counter with tremendous power for 10 turns, and then a high chance from turn 11. So he had a 50% chance before, and now it's 70% for 10 turns, and then it drops back down to 50, which, I mean, 50 is still good. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Like, they haven't given him a ton of extra crazy abilities, but having the extra damage reduction is good. You have to understand that, like, post-super, with the stats he's got there from being in slot 2 or 3, his defense is going to be really, really high. And then he's going to have 40% damage reduction on every turn other than the first one, which is still very, very good. Especially when, if we take a look at his super attack effects, because his super before was greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn. So if they've improved on that at all, yes, massively raise attack and greatly raise defense for 4 turns. That's really, really good, because it means when he gets that guaranteed second super, he's going to have the greatly raise again. And then when he comes around on his next turn, he's still got those 2 greatly raises, so his start of turn defense is going to be really, really high with 40% damage reduction. So that seems very, very good. And remember, his active skill is can be activated after he receives 4 or more attacks. Attack and defense 40%, and all enemies attack and defense minus 40% for 1 turn. So, like, this guy, after like he gets these buffs, and you're on that second turn, especially, like if you take 4 attacks in the first turn, and then you get to the next turn, he's got this defense buff that he got from the previous turn. Then you pop his active skill, and he gets a multiplicative 40% on top. His start of turn defense is going to be super, super high, and he's got 40% damage reduction, with the fact that he also then has a 70% chance to counter super attacks. So he's going to be looking pretty good. The fact that he builds up to 100% crit chance now basically means that he needs no crit in the hidden potential. So that means I have to redo the hidden potential for mine and get rid of all of his crit, but I guess it is what it is. But yeah, he seems good. I don't think he's necessarily busted. Like, he doesn't seem like, okay, he's the new best EZA TUR, but he does seem very, very good, and another very strong addition to the GT Heroes or Giant 8 Power team, or any team that he's on, because that's the other thing, right? He has no restrictions at all in terms of who he needs to be run with or anything like that. So that is really good. So both of these EZAs really good. I mean, if I had to say, like, Vegeta and Trunks is better, but I mean, they're a Dokkan Fest LR. We would probably have expected them to be better. So yeah, that's very, very good. And then we do also have the news update for upcoming content here as well. So we've got an interesting looking new event. See through it all, Gogeta's clones. See through Gogeta's clones and complete the support memory. So people are obviously speculating about getting a Gogeta clone, like, free team. But obviously we didn't get that. We are getting an event where you fight the clones and we can get a support memory. Now, we already have a GT Heroes one, so it'll be interesting to see what the support memory is for. But we should get a data download tomorrow. So that stuff will all be there, and I'll let you guys know. Then we've got the players. I like the fact it's called Dokkan Ultimate Players Choice Battle. So this is the event that was voted on. So it's going to be a 4-phase fight. You can't use items, but there will be no status effects. So there's no locking, sealing, dodge disabling, or anything like that from what they've said. So it should be quite interesting. Then we've got a new stage for the Birth of the Shadow Dragons event. This is supposed to be like a boss rush, kind of like they did with the movie Bosses Red Zone, where you just boss rush against all of the stages. Still weird that they haven't done the GT Bosses Red Zone one, but the support memory Shenron as an enemy can be boosted. So that is the support memory for Shadow Dragon Saga, which obviously will be super good for Omega's team. That will get permanently buffed. Then there's a burst mode for the Shadow Dragon, the Omega, like, Dokkan event. And then the Barbershop update. So if you've been farming the training in the clouds, this is where new items are being added to the shop, including 10 more of the rainbow tickets for the being able to do the 50 summon. And then obviously EX skill orbs are available for some of these EZAs and some of these other new characters as well. So once we get the data download, I will of course give you guys a full breakdown of everything that is in there and what everything is looking like. But yeah, the data download should be tomorrow, or technically later today, I guess, depending on your time zone. Because yeah, shout out to Proton for letting us know, but it should be tomorrow morning, like 6 a.m. my time, so that's going to be like 10 p.m. Pacific or like 1 a.m. Eastern, I think. So we'll get the data download, and then a bunch of this stuff should actually drop like literally a couple of hours later potentially. So very interested to see what these new events are looking like. The EZAs look really good, so let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Vegeta and Trunks seem like they're going to be really fun, and a really nice update to that Future Saga team, so we can actually get one of the Gokus out of slot 1 and actually mess around with Vegeta a little bit. So very much looking forward to that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the EZAs. Are you looking forward to these new events? Can't wait to see what the Gogeta clone event is going to be and the new support memory. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.